Welcome to MINYIP. I'm your host, Blake, and I'm joined by Clinton for our FPL Game Week 12 preview show. How are you, Clinton?
I'm going well, thank you, Blake. I went to footy train tonight, which I haven't been to for a long time, and I'm barely breathing. So if I'm not coming through well, that's the reason why. And despite that, I've bought a new microphone. So I lashed out. I've got a new microphone, so it might be coming through clearer, but I can barely breathe. I can barely talk. But let's see how we go.
Yeah, we've made a few changes to this show, so it might be interesting the outcome of how it all comes together with your breathing and the new visuals and everything. So I see you got your Arsenal top on there, Clinton. Pretty confident in how they're going at the moment, are you?
I'm wearing it proudly, Blake. They've turned the table. It was looking very dire after 3 game weeks, but it's very exciting. AFTV isn't what it used to be, and who knows? This week is a big game for them, so we'll get to that prediction soon. But I'm quite happy with how they've progressed, which is exciting with a lot of young, good players.
Yeah, they were calling for the manager to be sacked after about 2 or 3 games, but they've rallied quite well. So we're now on Twitter as well, Clinton, with our MINYIP. So we're now on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon. We've got it all happening. So I posted a question on there this morning of ask some questions about your team and everything so we could help our community. We didn't get any through this time, but make sure you follow MINYIP Fantasy Sports Community. I think the @ is MINYIP_FSC. Someone already stole MINYIP off us. So MINYIP_FSC on Twitter. So make sure you follow us on there because we'll be asking questions about your team and checking in how you're going. And we'll be posting questions at the end of our show after each FPL preview show. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, Clinton. Have you followed the page already that I created today?
Of course, mate. Did a good job. So, slowly we'll get some more traction. But, I'm not sure if you're posting game week rankings up on the page anymore. But if you do, maybe that's a turn off. But, I think we'll touch on that soon. But I'm on the road back. So, all good.
Very good, mate. We'll, like our last FPL show, we'll keep it nice and positive for you. And your team's back on the rise. We'll quickly recap what happened last game week in terms of the matches. Southampton defeated Aston Villa 1-0. Man United got defeated by Man City at home 0-2. Brentford 1-2 Norwich. Chelsea 1-0 Burnley. Crystal Palace 2-0 Wolves. Brighton 1-0 Newcastle. Arsenal 1-0 versus Watford. Good win there, Clinton. Everton draw versus Spurs. Leeds 1-1 draw versus Leicester, and West Ham with a bit of an upset there, 3-2 Liverpool. What did you make of those fixtures, Clinton?
Feels like a long time ago. Obviously, coming off the international break.
Yeah.
I've sort of, to be honest with you, for a week and a half, haven't thought about it too much. So we're recording obviously Thursday night. So yeah, it's been quite some time. So Watford versus Arsenal, it wasn't an overly convincing victory, but a win's a win these days. And I think the biggest thing since that game week is the amount of managers who have been moved on. And just like any sport around the world, there's normally a manager bounce. So the teams of Newcastle, Aston Villa, and Norwich, just expect them to maybe perform a bit better this week.
You reckon that'll have a positive output on their performance, Clinton?
Well, generally it does happen. It's always you sort of think things will stay the same, but there's always a bounce. So of those 3, I'm probably expecting Aston Villa to make the biggest jump in terms of their form. So Norwich obviously are in struggle street, and they're going to find it really tough. But yeah, Newcastle obviously a lot of money in the club right now, but they need to make sure they start winning some games to make sure they stay up in the Premier League.
Yeah, that'd be the first thing. We'll go on to how my team performed last game week, Clinton, which was a very interesting game week for me. I ended up scoring 60 points. I used my bench boost, and it wasn't. My curse of using my chips has prevailed again. So for people listening to us on the podcast, so on Apple and Spotify podcasts, I'll quickly read through how my team went. So Mendy 2, Cancelo 14, Livramento 6, Rudiger 2, Ben White 8, Havertz 8, Bernardo Silva 8, Salah 5, Jesus 2. Aubameyang scored me -2 as my captain, St. Maximum 2. And on my bench, as a part of my bench boost, Sanchez scored a -1, Kenos for Brentford 2, Semedo 2, and Dallas 2. So my bench boost netting me about 5 points after I probably took a -4. So that probably gave me about 1 point. So it was a very interesting game week, and I was very surprised that I climbed inside the top million for the overall ranking, sitting at about 912,000. I was very, very surprised after what happened to Aubameyang as my captain. Yeah, I'm cursed when it comes to my bench boost, I think, Clinton.
Well, I think the biggest thing for you, Blake, was the fact that you were wildcarding. So that's why you brought in Aubameyang, and that sort of was luck in the end because Salah could have scored 2 or 3 goals, which he has been recently, which I know full well about. And your bench boost obviously didn't come off, so it's I think you got away with it there. So, but yeah, 60 is still a good score. So a lot of players like Cancelo and your midfielders have bailed you out there. So onwards and upwards for you and wildcard, which is exciting. So yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, finally Havertz got a return for me, and Cancelo carried me in the back line, which was good. Do you want to talk through your team now, Clinton?
My team made a bit of a comeback, and it was well overdue. I'll just get that up. Sorry, but yeah, my team scored 71. Melier is still disappointing. I should have brought in Ramsdale there a couple of weeks ago. I had a choice, and I brought in Melier. He's disappointed, but Rudiger 2, Diaz 6, Trent 12, Cancelo 14, James 7, KDB 3, Salah 10, Mbomo 2, Gallagher, the hero, with 11 points. Wang scored me 2, and on my bench was Steer, Antonio, Broha, and Sissoko, who all blanked. So 71, obviously, it's a step in the right direction. Obviously, that's almost 30 points above the average, which in previous weeks I was about that much below the average. So really happy with how my team overall is structured up, and I'm finally at peace with the fact that I can start making ground on the debacle that's been my season so far. But I'm positive about all that, and yeah, those are a couple of ideas I have to try and make my team better.
Yeah, interesting structure you got there with the one striker, but overall ranking roughly about 2.9 million there, Clinton. At least you climbed up a bit, which is definitely a positive for your team looking forward. We'll go across to our league, Clinton, and just like usual, I believe Scott is leading the way. So we won't touch on this for too long because Scott's just been dominating all year. Andrew's in second with AG goal. Your mate David has made a big climb. He's gone to third now. He scored 73, so he's come up to third. Dem's in fourth, and Brent is in fifth. So pretty familiar names there in the top 5 for our MINYIP league.
Yeah, hey, just to mention David, he's been messaging me almost daily trying to see when we're recording so I can get a shout out. So good luck to him. He's set up his team pretty well. He's got a really strong back line, which I'm pretty keen to get almost the same as him. I've got 4 the same already, but he's going well. So I won't pump up his tires too much, but he's almost the main target. I hope to catch you, Blake, but David's the one I'm trying to catch.
Yeah, he's flying there. Well done, David. loyal listener to the show, I'm sure, now that he's inside the top 5. We'll just quickly touch on the players that have been most transferred in and out this week, Clinton. I'm not sure if you've got that in front of you, so I'll read that out for you. Gallagher's currently the most transferred in player with 427,000. Reece James, 300,000. Cancelo, 258,000. Smith Rowe, your boy from Arsenal, 220,000. And Antonio is the 5th most transferred in player, 140,000. Managers have transferred those players in, Clinton. I don't think there's any big surprises there, but surprised to see people are bringing back in Antonio. Do you think he's just a cheaper option?
Well, I think it's just due to the fact that there's been a lot of disappointing premiums not performing, and I think a lot of people went to Vardy there a few weeks ago, and I think potentially they've had enough of him, and Antonio is the one who West Ham are going really well, and generally speaking, he's been disappointing a bit the last few weeks, but I think he's the type of player that I think at his price presents good value. So I understand if people got rid of him, but I think, it's mainly those people who have gone from potentially Ronaldo or Lukaku to Vardy and now just looking for that different option. So I think the one that surprises me there most is probably Smith Rowe, because he is going well. In terms of stats, he's not ultimately getting a lot of shots on goal, I think, but he's still just making the most of his chances, and he's got a tough fixture this week. So that's the one that I'll be maybe not expecting a high fantasy points this week, but I hope that Arsenal's sake and my sake, I hope he does score.
Yeah, that was the most surprising one as well. Over the next 6 game weeks, they've got Liverpool, Man United, Everton, West Ham. So there's some tough fixtures in there. So that was also a surprise. The most transferred out players. Now, these are mostly players that have got flags on them at the moment. So Sanchez, 199,000. Vardy, who you just mentioned previously, is 158,000. Alonso, with the red flag on him at the moment, 155,000. Ings, 148,000. And Gray. So a lot of people were bringing in Gray a few weeks back, but now they're transferring him out, 125,000. No real surprises there, Clint?
All makes sense to me. I think, it's just one of those things. Some players fluctuate in form, and I think, Vardy's the type of player that no one had him at the start, and he's had a good patch of form, and then when everyone brings him in, that's when he's been disappointing. So it is the way it is sometimes, and I think with Ronaldo, with his fixture, and Kane potentially with his fixtures coming up, I think there will be people moving towards those premiums again. And Lukaku's back as well. So
is Lukaku back this game week, you reckon?
Apparently he's been in training, and he's been, I think, he's been touted to start this week. So I might mention him later on. Very,
very interesting. All right, Clinton, we'll look forward to the upcoming Game Week 12 fixtures this week. So as we mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to structure things a little bit differently for this show. We're going to do a score prediction, which we've done in the past, but we're also going to add a bold prediction for each game of the round. And we'll do one of those each, and we'll keep tally of A, if we get the score correct, and B, if we get our bold prediction correct. You'll probably try and call me up on how bold some of my predictions are, Clinton, but we'll see how we go, kicking this off for the first time. So to start
what I will say,
I
need to say first, Blake. So,
this will be good. Yep.
It has to be bold, so it has to be something that is unlikely to happen, or less than a 50-50 to happen. And just to make it clear, we have written ours down already. We have no idea what the other person's going to say. So we might have something similar, we may not. But each week we'll do this prior to recording, and then we'll just say what we got. And yes, we can call each other out if it's too obvious. For example,
here we go.
If Man City are playing a bottom team, I'm just saying, you can't just choose like Man City to keep a clean sheet. something too obvious. So it has to be a bold prediction, Blake. You got that?
All right, we'll see how we go. All right,
All right.
Game one.
I might be calling you out.
Game one, Leicester, Chelsea. Leicester's home game. I've got Leicester to score 1 goal and Chelsea to score 5. And my bold prediction for this game is Reece James and Chilwell to be involved in all 5 goals.
That is very, very bold.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck with that. My bold prediction is that Lukaku will re-announce himself to fantasy managers and he'll score at least 10 fantasy points. And my prediction is 3-0 in favour of Chelsea. 3-0, I should say.
No, that's all right. We're off to a good start with our game one. Villa Brighton. I've got a 0-0 draw, and
I'd like to be a bold prediction first, please, Blake, because that way it leaves me in suspense a little bit. I like to be hit with it first, but don't give it away by telling me the result.
Well, my bold for this game, my bold prediction gives away what my score was. So my bold prediction was that this is the only game of the round with no score.
Okay. So if it does end up 0-0 or 0-0, and if there's another 0-0 that you fail that one, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, good luck.
Hit me.
Mine is that Steven Gerrard will get off to a winning start as a manager, and he'll not only get the win but a clean sheet. And my prediction is 2-0. And as I said, my bold prediction might be 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, but they'll win and get a clean sheet. How about that?
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Burnley, Crystal Palace, Zaha to get red carded, and Burnley will win. And Burnley will win 2-1.
So that's your bold prediction. You're just giving precise scores. Imagine if Zaha gets red carded and they win 3-1, then you fail.
No. The bold prediction is that Zaha will get red carded.
Oh, it's just red card.
And that's my score prediction separately, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All good. I thought you were giving me the... okay, all good. My bold prediction is that Cornet and Gallagher will both score, and the score will be 2-2.
2-2, very good. Newcastle, Brentford. I've got Wilson and Tony to both go off injured. and the score will be Newcastle 1, Brentford 2.
I understand Wilson maybe with an injury, but why Tony?
Just because I'm not picky. I'm not picky him this week, and I'll be regretting not picking him because I think he'll play very well. So he'll go off injured instead, just to ease my nerves.
Very good. Okay, my bold prediction is that Mbomo, who has stayed in my team for a few weeks, he will, in terms of fantasy, he'll score at least 1 goal, whether it be 2 goals or 1 goal, 1 assist. He'll score at least 1 goal. And Brentford to win 3-1.
3-1, very good. Norwich, Southampton. I've got my bold prediction is Pookie to have 6 shots on goal and not score any. And the finals.
My voice. I'm trying. My laughing. As I said, I'm not breathing well. And when I'm laughing, it sounds like it's a husky. I feel like coughing every time I laugh. Carry on. Sorry. Go.
Pookie to have 6 shots for no goal, and the score will be 1-1.
Okay. Good stuff. My bold prediction is that Livramento owners to realise that his he should be a bench option. So I think Norwich. My bold prediction is that Norwich will score at least 2 goals. So that's pretty random. And I've had a glimpse at your wildcard, so that'll be interesting to see if you have thoughts about that. My prediction is that Norwich will win 2-1. That's pretty bold.
Yeah, it is bold considering what Norwich have done, but they did win their last game, and then they sacked their manager. Don't mind me, my cat.
Manager bounce at home. They'll try and attack and score.
All right. Watford Man United.
Oh dear.
I was nearly going to go the bold prediction of Man United keeping a clean sheet, but that's just not going to happen. So my prediction...
That's too bold.
So instead of going that, my prediction is Ronaldo to score 5 goals, and the score will be Watford 1, Man United 5. So Ronaldo's going to score all 5 of their goals.
Wow. You're taking bold predictions to another level. My bold prediction is that United will win late in the game. So whether that's 1-0 or 2-1 or 3-2, they'll score a late winner to win the game. So I'm talking 85 minutes
late?
plus.
All right, 85 plus. Sounds good.
85 minutes plus. The scores will be level at that stage, and then Man United will win, and probably a Ronaldo goal. My prediction is 2-1 United's way.
Yeah, I nearly deserve double points for some of my bold predictions. I've gone a bit too heavy, but anyway.
If it was odds, if it's only odds, you'd get some juicy odds, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Wolves, West Ham. My bold prediction is Huang and Jimenez to combine for four goals. So they'll.
Wow. Yep.
And the bold prediction should have been that I think Wolves are going to beat West Ham 5-2. So that's my score prediction.
Okay.
We need to go back to just doing score predictions, I think.
No, this is much more fun.
Yeah.
My bold prediction for the game is relatively boring, but it's similar to the one with Lukaku. I think Antonio will sort of bounce back to form with at least 10 fantasy points, and West Ham will win 3-1.
3-1. It's a
boring. Okay, your turn.
Quite the opposite of mine. Liverpool, Arsenal. I've got my bold prediction is Salah is going to blank in this game. He's not going to. That's quite a bold prediction.
I like that, blank.
Yeah, considering what he's been doing.
I like that a lot.
I've actually got a reason behind that one. They've got a lot of injuries surrounding their squad at the moment, and I'm not sure how they're going to structure up with the Robertson injury and the likes of that. So that's my bold prediction, and I've got
Newcastle replace him.
And but Salah's going to blank this one anyway. Liverpool will win 2-0 still, even though Salah blanks.
Okay. Regrettably, I have it similar to my previous Man United prediction. I think Liverpool will find a way, and they'll also win it late, 85 minutes plus, whether that's 0-0 or 1-1, and then Liverpool will score late. Because I think Arsenal will be very competitive, but Liverpool, with where they're at, I think will find a way. So I said 2-1 to Liverpool, although I'll be barracking hard for Arsenal.
Very good. Man City, Everton. I've got Phil Foden score a hat-trick in this game, and City to win 5-0 to Everton.
Yeah, okay. My concern with this game is that Man City have a game in a few days after this game, the big Champions League games. I'm concerned about rotation. So Despite that, my prediction is that Cancelo will become a captaincy option from now on, and he'll kick. What do I have here? He'll not only get a clean sheet, but he'll score a goal. My prediction is 4-0 City.
That's an interesting prediction when we'll discuss my team shortly. To finish off the game, we've got Spurs Leeds. My bold prediction is that Dallas will score an own goal. He's destroyed me all year. And now that I'm finally able to get him out, he's going to score an own goal against Spurs, and Spurs will win.
Not a natural goal. Not a natural goal for Leeds. He'll score an own goal.
He'll score one for Spurs, and Spurs will win 3-0.
Okay. My bold prediction is pretty much summarised by Spurs Fizzer. I think there'll be a lot of disappointed new owners of Kane and Son. And what did I say here? There'll be less than 2 goals scored for the game, which is a bit of a bold prediction because they're normally both free-flowing. Well, sorry, Leeds is anyway, but a lot of people are predicting goals. I'll say less than 2 goals. And my actual prediction is 0-0. How about that?
Wow, that'll be quite an upset to a lot of Spurs owners there. I believe a lot of managers will be getting them in. So I hope you've kept track of your own scores and predictions there, Clinton. I've struggled just to keep up with mine.
It'll be fascinating. It'll be fascinating if we get any of them. But imagine if we get just a lot of random bold predictions.
Yeah, the chances of any of mine coming true are quite slim. So we'll see how we go.
I might have to up my bold game.
Yeah, you just haven't been bold enough in your predictions, Clinton. So, yep, next week we'll go through that. So look forward to that already. I'm already excited for our next show. We'll start discussing our teams for this upcoming game week 12. As we already mentioned, I am on my Wildcard. I hit this up straight away upon the new game week opening so that I could try and boost my value, but it hasn't gone up too much. Only
didn't happen.
Sorry?
Didn't happen. I don't think there's been many. It hasn't been a big transfer weekend. So in terms of your aim to boost your value, I doubt that would have happened too much, would it?
Yeah, it was about 0.1, I reckon, just about the way it's going, because the players that have gone up in value were already in my team just about. So at the moment, I'm going to have Foster as my backup keeper, and currently sitting there at the moment is McCarthy as my number 1 goalkeeper. But I'm hoping I just need that extra 0.1 boost in value so I can look elsewhere. But so it's quite hard to explain if you're looking at this on YouTube. But at the moment, I've got Foster, McCarthy. In defense, I've got Chilwell, Reguilon, Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, and Tsimikas. As we mentioned, Robertson's injured, and Tsimikas will hopefully take over his role. In the midfield, I've got Bissouma, Son, Salah, Foden, and Gilmore as another cheap option. And up front, I've got Davis, Ronaldo, and Huang. So at the moment, I've got a relatively cheap bench. So at the moment, my structure will be a 5-3-2. Bissouma, Gilmore, and Davis will be on my bench, as well as Foster. And yeah, so that will leave me with the on-field keeper of McCarthy, or hopefully better. Chilwell, Reguilon, Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, and Tsimikas hopefully all play this week. The big omission there is not having Cancelo, but I really want to have a big striker up front so that I can afford to move to Kane or Lukaku if I want to, and sacrificing Cancelo was pretty much the only way I could do that at the moment. So I pretty much straight swapped Cancelo to Chilwell and downgraded my bench option so that I can afford Ronaldo as my number one striker. I want Son with his good upcoming fixtures and Reguilon as well. Hopefully, he'll be serviceable in that Tottenham lineup. And I did want Jota as well, but obviously you can only have 3 players, and Alexander-Arnold, Tsimikas is a cheap option, and Salah as a regular captaincy option obviously will be there. So that's how it's currently looking, Clinton. We've still got another couple of sleeps till I can finalise this lineup, but that's how it currently stands. What do you think?
It's not bad. I'll give you that. Ronaldo is obviously an interesting one because United's form, but they've got a good fixture this week in Watford. But it'll be interesting to see if he pays dividends this week, especially because a lot of people got rid of him, and a lot of people maybe not bring him back in this week. So that's a bit of a differential, maybe, in terms of the highly ranked managers. My big question is with Tsimikas. I think I haven't heard any updates recently, the last couple of days, but with Robertson, what if he only misses like one game and he's back in? So I think you've got to be careful of that with Tsimikas, and then you might end up stuck with that and how you're going to transfer, or because then you potentially have 4 bench options and who you're going to play. So, no Man City defense is, you only got one Man City player, which is, I think, obviously interesting because I think along with Chelsea and Liverpool are the 3 best teams. So I like the way he attacks Spurs, and overall it's looking pretty solid. I think McCarthy's an interesting one. Who are we trying to get? Was it Ramsdale or Guaita? Who are we trying to get?
I was just trying to remind myself actually of who that was. I believe, it was the Crystal Palace goalkeeper.
Yeah, Guaita. He's going pretty well. So I think that's your choice. And Southampton obviously going pretty well with Livramento being the very popular option that he is. But good luck to you. And Foden, as I said to you, I think 3 weeks ago, I think he's the one to get at the moment. We'll get to my team in a sec. But Foden's the player who is looking the goods. And I think, as I said, the big question mark for this week is what team will they put on the park because of the big Champions League fixture coming up. But in saying that, the second on the table, they need to win games. So I think they'll still feel a strong team. Just whether or not the likes of Foden, KDB, those who played a fair bit of international duty the last 2 weeks, we'll see. But solid Blake. I'll give you a tick. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I've targeted Ronaldo for this 1 game week, pretty much having Watford. Hopefully he'll score the 5 goals of my bold prediction, and he's most likely going to be my captain this week as well. So hopefully returns for me. And then after that, he potentially might be making a switch to Harry Kane. So we'll see. I just want to watch Tottenham for 1 more game week. And then if Harry Kane looks like he's going to dominate, Ronaldo to Kane next game week if I've got nothing else to fix up. We'll go to your team, Clinton. Have you made any transfers there?
No transfers. Melier in goal. Rudiger, Diaz, Trent, Cancelo, James, KDB, Salah, Mbomo, Gallagher. I've got Antonio starting on. On the bench is Steer, Wang, Broha, and Sissoko. So change just Antonio coming on for Wang this time round. I'm backing in Mbomo and Gallagher to continue Gallagher at least to continue his form. And Mbomo, I'm expecting a return this week. Looking at the team, I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously, as I said earlier, I regret the decision to get Melier instead of Ramsdale a couple of weeks ago, because I think Ramsdale scored about 15 more points than Melier the last 2 game weeks. But I'm backing him in the next month because they have okay fixtures. This one's obviously tough. And overall, as I said, I'm pretty happy with it. You're going back to your team quickly, Blake. You're going to captain Salah.
No, I'm going to captain Ronaldo against Watford.
Yeah, okay. I think as I said, it's already a difference that you got him. It's interesting there because I think Salah's been so popular recently. I think people are starting to branch out to other options. But looking at my team, KDB is the player that is on thin ice. He's one of the world's best players. He hasn't had a great start to the year, but I just know that could go two ways. Like, all of a sudden he could click into form and everyone will start wanting him, and he's back to being one of the best players in the world, or he'll just continue to be a bit off his best, and or continue to hold him and regret not selling him to someone else. So if he has a disappointing game this week, there's every chance that I'll maybe try and move him on to someone like Son next week. So I'm backing him in for at least one more game. And the other option I was potentially maybe thinking about, I've got only one free transfer. So there's every chance I won't make any transfers. I was tempted to actually get rid of Melier for Allison, which is paying up for an expensive goalkeeper. I don't want Mendy because they have the AFCON coming up in January, so he's someone who maybe have been moved on in a bit over a month's time. So it's every chance I don't make a transfer. I'm actually tempted to get rid of Rudiger and bring in Chilwell, which is obviously a very luxury transfer. I've got about 1.4 in the bank, by the way. But obviously Rudiger is more of a defensive defender and Chilwell's an attacking player, and that would just really make my back line really strong. And as I said, David Hale, if I take out Rudiger for Chilwell, that's the five that David has, which I'm very jealous of. So I'm happy with my team. And yeah, I'm going to keep it on Salah despite potentially Arsenal giving up a strong fight, and there's every chance he won't score a lot. But looking at my team, there's no one else I really want to captain besides KDB, who's a big differential, but I don't think I'll do that. Cancelo's a consideration, but the safe option now, I'm going to climb the ranks. The safe option is the captain Salah. So there you go.
No, I like it. Your back five is obviously very solid. You'd, as you mentioned, it'd be a luxury if you could get Chilwell instead of Rudiger. But yeah, other than that, it's a very good team, Clinton. Hopefully you'll be able to climb back up the rankings very shortly. Hopefully you won't catch me.
I will play. It's not a hopeful. It's not a hopeful. I will be. I think the other thing. Sorry, Blake, to cut you off. I think
No, you're right.
You mentioned Son, but Harry Kane, and he scored a lot of goals, a lot of goals over the international break. But I think he's a type of player that once he does find form, he's very hard to stop. So it will be interesting. And if I do, the idea of me holding a transfer is potentially then next week I could do a bold move, like as I said with KDB, going cheaper option there, and I could upgrade to a premium option up forward. So that's why I might be leaning towards not making a transfer, because the likes of Ronaldo and Kane are two players I'm sort of watching closely this weekend.
Yeah, that's why I've spent up big for one key striker at the moment. And I know if I didn't spend the money now, it'd be very difficult to make my way up to them with transfers. So that's why I'm spending up big on a key forward now. All right, Clinton, that just about wraps up our Game Week 12 preview show. In future weeks, we are going, as we already mentioned, we will be posting questions from Twitter at this stage of the show. So make sure you follow us on the Twitter pages and stay up to date with our other socials as well on Instagram. And we're also on Patreon. So if you haven't checked that out, go onto there, because we'll be having some more content coming through that channel shortly. So subscribe to Patreon, where you can support the show and what we're doing here, and join the community. get involved. We'd like to hear about how your season's progressing in FPL, and won't be too long until we're on Big Bash Supercoach as well. I think it was about 16 days away. So that's coming around the corner very quickly. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and the podcast, whether you're listening to us, Apple or Spotify, so you can stay up to date with our future shows. Got anything further to add, Clinton?
Not really. I think just now's an exciting time of year. I think I heard it yesterday, the day before that. I think it's 40 days. There's 10 game weeks. So if you do the math, that's quite a bit of soccer that's going to be happening over this festive period, and no international break, as I said. So it's going to be exciting. And the other thing is, with Supercoach BBL, you're the Hall of Famer that's going to have high expectations to deliver. So I look forward to doing that. So I didn't know I was that close. So I better start sorting my team out with that. And just back to this week. There's a lot of good fixtures Saturday night our time. I think there's one game. What was the first game? Leicester-Chelsea. And then there's about 6 or 7 games. I think there's a lot of games at once. So I think it's very early in the morning. I wish it was at a better time, but that's when Goal Rush is very exciting to watch, because there's about 6 or 7 games at once. But it may be just a fraction too late for us, but it'd be good to sort of watch the highlights in the morning no matter what.
At the start of the season, I was very excited for Goal Rush. I remember games week 1 and 2, you sit up about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, get ready for Goal Rush, and then no goals would happen in the first half. That's all right. Hopefully,
that was one random week.
Yeah, that's all right. All good, Clinton. Thanks for joining us again for the MINYIP show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Good stuff, Blake.